Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I do appreciate it. Look at this great big corked and caged bottle. Guys, we've been getting into a lot of those because I had a lot of those in the cellaring fridge from stuff that I'd bought over the last 10 years. We're getting into those, more and more of those, because we've done everything that everybody has sent me other than the big ones. So we're slowly working our way through some of those and emptying the fridge out downstairs and bringing them up here, and I'm not too sad about that. I mean, there's a lot of people say they can't cellar beer because they think about it and they have to drink it. I don't have that problem, but we're going through some of these, bringing them out of the closet and out of the cellaring fridge downstairs. So since I've had to cut my alcohol consumption way back, as far as how many I can drink per day, still trying to lose weight and doing all that kind of stuff to be heart healthy, and it is what it is. Getting old is not for sissies. It sucks. All right, this is Weyerbacher's Blasphemy. And guys, I've had this one a long time. It's been downstairs in the fridge for a long time. The label that they use now is even different than this one. And I don't think there's any vintage on it anywhere. I didn't see anything on the label. I doubt if there's anything printed on the bottle. But we will check when I come back for the final chug. See if there's by chance something written on the bottle somewhere. But if I was guessing, I'd say this beer is probably 6 to 10 years old, somewhere in that area. And it is a big Belgian quad. According to Untapped, it's 39 IBUs. It is an 11.8%er, and then that is written on the label. And their description says, Blasphemy 11.8 ABV is our quad aged in bourbon barrels, which gives it a gentle vanilla notes that complement rather than supersede the complex qualities that already make quad such an incredible beer. It is fully bottle conditioned and available only in the 750 milliliter corked and caged packages. So, we've got the ABV, and the IBUs. Like I said, we'll check on some kind of dating. I kind of doubt if we're going to find any of that. One, because it's so old, and a lot of breweries weren't dating their stuff then, and also, it's a big corked and caged bottle, and a lot of those don't have it if it's not written on the label. So that's all. And like I said, these corked and caged bottles scare me sometimes, especially when I read that it's bottle conditioned. That means it's still fermenting in the bottle. This one has probably been in the fridge since I've had it downstairs, so hopefully it hasn't produced a whole lot of additional pressure. And I've had them before. When I just take the cork and the cage off of it, the corks will start coming up out of it. I'm going, oh my God. Those are the usual ones that spew all over the place when they got that much carbonation. They're pushing the cork out. But can't really tell right now whether it looks like whether it's a real cork or it's a synthetic cork. But got my fingers crossed. I hope it don't spew all over the place. So let's see if I can move it. Yeah, I got it to twist. So here we go. Keep your fingers crossed. I really don't want it to spew all over. I have deducted points for beers that do that, for being overcarbonated. Here we go. Nice pop. And looks like it is staying in there. And I believe it is an actual cork instead of a polymer plastic cork. So, let's get it into the glass and see what we got going on with this one, guys. And I would probably guess, since I've had it this long, there's probably going to be some sediment in the bottom of the bottle. But we're pouring it straight down the center here. Fairly aggressive pour. And there we go. About a half a finger of head on that pour. Not bright white, just a tad, maybe eggshell white colored head on this one. And it is very clear, guys. It's a nice mahogany ruby color in the glass. A lot of bubbles streaming up from the bottom. Good looking beer for a quad. Let's get it to the nose and see what we got. I'm getting a nice Belgian yeast quality. Not a lot of bourbon in the nose. It's got a nice sweetness to it. Maybe some pears or apples in there. And just a slight hint of maybe a tad hint of vanilla. You have to be looking for it. Smells pleasant, so let's dive in, see what we got. Cheers, everybody. A little bit of the alcohol. Very nice sweetness. A hint of maybe some grapes. That's very pleasant, though. And it's a cross between the alcohol or the booziness and maybe some of the barrel aging notes. Very tasty. But this one's cold right out of the fridge. Let me sip on this one before I say anything else and see what we end up with on the final chug, and we'll go from there, because these bigger beers like this, they need to come up to room temperature and stuff before some of those qualities actually come out the way they should. So that's what I'm going to do. Hang around. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Been sitting on it close to an hour. The bourbon notes are not there, guys. I would probably not buy this beer again. And if you have this beer selling, especially one with this old label on it like this, you probably ought to drink it. You probably ought to get it out. The bourbon notes are not there. Period. Doesn't seem to be quite as boozy as it was when I first tasted it. But the bourbon notes are not there. You're paying a premium price for something that's supposed to be bourbon barrel aged, and it's, I don't know how long they left it in the barrels, but wasn't long enough. Like I said, I probably would not buy this beer again. It is a decent beer. It is very tasty, but the bourbon notes are so subdued you can't find them. So I probably wouldn't buy it again. That's just my bottom line on this. It does have a nice Belgian quad aspect to the aroma and taste. And a little bit of pears or apples or something in there, but other than that, kind of plain Jane, kind of one-dimensional. So, final chug on this one. The bourbon notes on this beer are nada, zero, zip, zilch, nothing. This would be one you probably ought to drink fresh. If you want to get some of the bourbon notes, you probably ought to drink it as fresh as possible. Like I said, I probably wouldn't buy this beer again. For something especially bourbon barrel aged and expecting those bourbon notes, it is very lacking. So, but it is a tasty beer. I don't think it's to the A category, to be honest with you. I'm going to give this a B+, 88 where I'm going to put this. So let's run over to Beer Advocate. They say 3.95 in the very good range. I would agree with that. It's a very good beer. Not outstanding or awesome or anything like that. Not to the A category. And over to Untapped, they have it at 3.97, also in their B+ range. So it's unanimous. It's a B+ beer, guys. Probably even fresh, it's going to be a B+ beer. So for what they're going to charge you for this beer, and being in a big 750 milliliter with a cork and a cage, which you pay extra for, instead of being something with a cap on it that a machine can put on, and a little disappointed on this one. So like I said, I wouldn't buy it again. That's my bottom line on this one, guys. So and I'm sure there's people that's probably going to disagree with that, but it is what it is. Between me and Beer Advocate and Untapped, we all agree it's a B+ beer. So it's a B+ beer, bottom line. So if you've had this, especially the old label, because I haven't had the new label, and I probably will not have the new label unless somebody sends it to me, because I'm not going to spend my money on something that says bourbon barrel aged and very lacking in those characteristics. So with that being said, if you've had it, let me know what you think, guys. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.